right, we're going to go to the VIP hotline and we're going to bring in a guy who I'm happy to say I call a friend of mine, a guy who is probably one of the most recognizable people in Browns community, in the Browns fandom. And I think he's an important part of making the Browns culture what it is in terms of making the Browns backers worldwide such a huge phenomenon in all of sports and making Browns fans great. I want to bring in Gus Angelone, a.k.a. Pumpkinhead, into the building. What's up, Gus? How you doing, man?
What's up, GBUSH? Good to have you.
Hey, man, Gus, man. First of all, I just want to, thank you for coming on today and say salute to you and your family. I hope everything's going well with you and your family during COVID-19, you and your boys. And I'm good to see that you made it through and you came through unscathed. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, likewise, man. I hope everything's good on your end. I know you're getting prepared to get your fiance here and, do your thing. So, stay strong and, it's really good to see you and talk to you.
All right, man. Definitely. I appreciate it. So let's get into it a little bit. So, um, for people who don't know you, they don't know you, but they know the Pumpkinhead character. And when you see Pumpkinhead, they usually see that guy on TV who's at every game, at the away games, the guy that's really holding it down on TV. But then when it comes to Cleveland, you're doing some of the biggest events in Cleveland, just showing the Browns fandom and really putting on these great events. How did it come about, the creation and thought process with Pumpkinhead, the character?
Yeah, so the character, he actually started back in 2004. And the way I tell the story is back in '04, the Browns were going through one of their many transformations of their uniform or, variations. And they called the new color of the helmet a pumpkin orange. So my favorite holiday is obviously Halloween. And it kind of gave the idea, kind of spawned this idea that, pumpkin orange, browns, like I'm going to put a stripe on a pumpkin. I'm going to carve it like a face. I'm going to carve it from the bottom up and I'm going to put it on my head. I'm going to go to the game. So, back in '04, I actually made 3 or 4 of them and it was supposed to be for myself and my brother and my cousin. And we just had an extra one and we tailgating at the Muni Lot or wherever we were at. And we were walking down the street and my cousin and my brother decided they didn't want to do it. And I'm like, you know what? I spent all this time making this. I'm going to do it. We ended up going into the game immediately. It was like a sensation. They put us on the Jumbotron. We made it on the broadcast and it's kind of taken on a life of its own from there. And I started wearing like the full uniforms. I was searching high and low on eBay for all I tried to emulate what the players looked like, like the tight jerseys and the pads and the gloves. And, then I kind of built some relationships with people and, now everything I've got is legit. I think what I do is pretty unique. It's just, continues to grow. And, about 10 years ago, this would have been our 10-year anniversary last year had COVID not hit, but we're going to go and call it this year, our 10-year anniversary. That's we've been hosting these parties at Barley House, and those kind of taken on a life of their own. Those that have been and those that have seen pictures, it's just something you need to experience. But between the character and the events, I've become pretty recognizable, I'd say.
You kind of transitioned into the tailgates, right?
Sure.
And I met you. I first of all, I've always known the character. But before I got into the business, in 2000, I think the station came on air in 2011. I believe 2011, 92.3, the fan came on in 2011. And
Yeah,
I
it
was
kind of
fortunate enough.
coincides with the tailgates. They started the station and the tailgates actually started at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So I've known Pumpkinhead the character because I've always been, obviously the huge Browns fan. So
Right.
when I saw you at the tailgates, I'm like, hey man, Pumpkinhead is here, man. This is crazy. And what really was crazy was your name was on the poster. Your name was on like the flyer. It's like, sponsored by Pumpkinhead. I said, oh, what the heck? The Pumpkinhead he out here winning. I'm like, I don't know where Pumpkinhead is moving to, but he out here winning. And so since then, I've seen the metamorphosis of your I would say your show. I would say I started working and got an opportunity to start hosting in about 2015, 15, 16. And then I got a chance to start doing the Browns pregame for the tailgate. And that's where I really met you as an individual. Talk about how you came about thinking about saying, okay, let me start the tailgate. How did that come about and partnershiping with Barley House?
Yeah, so the partnership is between Barley House, 92.3 The Fan, and myself. And it kind of became a three-way partnership. And it's kind of a funny story because I'm actually on my third, trailer. You guys seen my trailers and my setup. So we're on the third trailer. But back in the day, I used to have a 1973 Coachman RV, and it was kind of like the RV you see in Christmas Vacation that Cousin Eddie would be rolling up the Clark's driveway in. And it was just a busted up hoopty that I had painted, orange and brown, and I had a big sticker myself put on the side. And we were tailgating over across from the Rapid Station under the bridge on West 3rd, right when you walk, before you approach the hill into the stadium. And it kind of, it started out with my pickup truck, and I get like a pony keg for like 5-6 friends. And then we started grilling out. And then right around the middle of that time, the Pumpkinhead character started taking off. And that's when the RV kind of spawned. So then the party started to grow, and it went from 10 people to 30 people. So then I'm getting 4, 5, 6 kegs of beer, and I'd be putting on a spread of like, I'd sell like pre-ticket, advanced tickets, it's just so I could cover my costs. And I would do all you could drink and all you could eat for $20. And like, can you imagine?
You can't go wrong with that. That sounds like an OU party.
Yeah. So, I mean, people would, like, I don't have a liquor license or nothing. So, there's always ways around things. So I'm like, for a $20 donation, you bring your own cup. And I had a tap drilled through the wall of this RV, and people would just help themselves to the beer, and every party would just fund the next party, and the parties kept growing and growing. So I went from 10 people to 60 people to 100 people to like 300 people under this bridge. So then, I started hiring DJs to do like special events. I would have a DJ for our Halloween party. I'd have a DJ for the Christmas party. We never got a playoff game, so there was nothing really there. But so this DJ is DJ Ray. He goes by DJ XL, and he would spin at Barley House. And 92.3 The Fan came into existence about 10, 11 years ago. They were looking to compete with ESPN Cleveland and do their own tailgates and events. So Ray, Barley House went to DJ XL, and they're like, we're looking for like a face of this party. We got the venue, we've got the advertiser, we've got the broadcast, but they didn't have that Browns flavor. So they approached me, and, I told them no, like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I got a great thing going under this bridge. I feel like, I can't go wrong. And I'm like, I'm good. They finally talked me into it, and I was real skeptical. I was real nervous because, once you get established somewhere and you get your routine down and people know where you're at, you don't want to change. Like, they knew where Pumpkinhead was. The parties continue to grow and get bigger and bigger. And it wasn't about making money. It was just about being, like a centerpiece of the tailgate. That wasn't the Muni lot. That wasn't the pit. It was something that I created. And it was a blast. I mean, it was an organic, fun environment, and it was just crazy. Long story short, they get me to go over to Barley House, and the parties had really evolved from where they are, today. When I first started doing Barley House, there was no t-shirt gun. There was no confetti cannons. there was nothing. And it was kind of just bringing my trailer. They wanted my crowd, so the people would follow me there, and then, kind of just took off from there. So then I started, getting a little bit more notoriety, got a little more popular. I started, getting sponsors on my end. So then I started elaborating on the party. I went and bought a new trailer. I started buying different things to liven up the party. I used to do dunk takes for opening day, and say we were playing the Titans. I go down to Christie's, I get some girls, I put them in Titans cheerleading outfits, and instead
I
of throwing
remember that.
baseballs, we throw footballs at the girls, and things like that. I'd bring in a demolition car. I'd paint it up like a Steelers helmet. I'd give people a sledgehammer, hit this car for $1 for charity, and it was just things like that you can't do at the community lot, that you have to do at a private lot, just because you need to control the environment.
Right.
And things just grew from there. And then, national media started picking up on it. Like Monday Night Football would be in town. Where do you think they're sending the camera crews? Sunday Night Football, I'm getting hit up on Thursday. Hey, we're going to be in town. Where are you going to be at? And year after year, this thing kind of just snowballed. And now it's like, my dream had always been to host a home playoff game, and I've never gotten to do it. I've been doing the tailgates exclusively at Barley House for a decade, and I've never had the chance. And I'm telling you, I've got some stuff planned this year. It's going to blow your socks off.
Gus, we kind of talked about this prior to the interview, and we've talked a lot, just either through texting or just just basically communicating about different things. And we kind of talked, and we said, man, it was the only down part to this season was, the Browns having one of the historical seasons and historical runs in the history of the franchise since coming back from '99, and for us being at the tailgates and doing those things for years.
Years.
We see how passionate people are for the team, and to not be able to do that this year and see the reaction that we would have gotten, or to just experience that pageantry of the Browns being good, really kind of sits with you. It doesn't sit well, because you want to say, man, we could have enjoyed ourselves. How crazy would it have been if we would have been able to have those games, and seeing them beat the Steelers the last game of the year to get to the playoffs, and then being able to get to the playoffs and then beat the Steelers again in that next round. It was amazing. So
one of my most favorite stories that I like to tell, when we started doing these tailgates and we got established, I would say we were probably 5-6 years into this thing at Barley House. And it was the first time we had a Monday Night Football game. I believe it was against the New York Giants. And like I said, we were established. We were, you had the Muni lot, you had the pit, and then you have Barley House. And, Cleveland Scene, that magazine, they put out like a map, and they put a picture of my helmet on the bullet point of that map. Like, this is the place to be. You want to be at the Muni, you want to be at the pit, or you want to be at Barley. And I'll never forget, we had probably 2,000 people on this lot, and they had the fire marshal at the front. And I want to make sure everybody knows, make sure we set the record straight. The tailgates are 100% free. I get a lot of slack saying, like, I'm a paid mascot, this and that. The tailgates are for free. They're family friendly. You can't bring your own beverages, obviously, because, they got to pay for, everything that goes on there. But you want a beer, you buy a beer. You want a hot dog, you buy a hot dog. It's no different than going to the stadium. But what is different is we're putting on a show. And this New York Giants tailgate that we threw had 2,000 people in the lot, the fire marshal at the gate. For every 3 people that would leave the party, they would let one in. And we had a line halfway around the block to get in the tailgate. And that's when I knew we had something special at the tailgates, and something special that you don't see at other cities. I've seen a lot of, different things. Nothing compares to what we do here in Cleveland. And that's where the pandemic really hurt, because just when you were painting that picture, I started getting chills thinking about all my friends and family and everybody that we come together on Sunday and enjoy our camaraderie, our football. They call us the dog pound. That was ripped away from us. Like the season, it was fantastic. We had a blast. Everything about it except the community. It was everything you would want in a football season. I can't even describe to you how I'm even feeling about this upcoming season. I can't even contain my emotions right now. I'm just, when that season ended, with that, I felt the season ended when Hollywood Higgins got hit out of the corner there with that BS, that call. And we're not going to rehash it, but you know what I'm saying.
We had him.
We had him.
We had him.
We had him. We had him on the ropes, and
we let him off
the hook. Exactly. I had my ticket broker on the line. I was going to the AFC Championship game in Buffalo, and we would have beat the Bills. I'm 100%. We were going to take the trailer down. We were going to stay in New York. I had everything set. There was no amount of money, no time, vacation time. Like I told my boss at work, this happens, I'm going. You ain't stopping me.
Listen, I'm sorry. You're going to have to do what you need to do.
I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to be able to throw the football to my boys in the party. And I want to be able to, do all these new special things, these ideas. Like I told you off the interview about some of the ideas. I mean, I'm going to blow people away what I have planned. Bro, there's no restrictions on me at these parties. And I think the reason I keep getting brought back and welcomed with open arms to Barley House is because they allow me to be creative. They never tell me no. I want to do something, they support me. And I just can't wait to show you guys what I have in store.
Yeah, man. Some of the stuff that you've let me or put me on the game about, bro.
Just think about it. Think about what I told you.
Bro, wait till y'all see it. Like, it's crazy. Like, your setup is already I'm passionate about setups. I'm always trying to change my setup. I'm always trying to get stuff better, for presentation, whether I'm doing this show or my own thing, or whether it's merchandise. I'm always trying to figure out a way to get better. And I can always appreciate entrepreneurs who invest in themselves, who invest in what they want to do at the top of the food chain, at the highest level, that don't cut corners for quality, because it's not that, it's for anybody else. It's just this personal standards they have for their brand. And I appreciate anybody in any field who continues to do that. Before we let you go, and I don't want to take too much of your time, and I want to thank you again for, coming on with me. I just wanted to, you highlighted something a few seconds ago, and you talked about some of the misconceptions about you as an individual. And, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because, I wanted to, shed some light on who you are as a father, as a man, as a person, and show people that there's these misconceptions out there. A lot of people don't know that you're investing all of your capital into this thing. People don't know that you're working crazy hours and doing different things. And people don't know that every single time you're throwing these events, and I've been I host the Browns pregame, the tailgate show, you still have your boys with you. You still spending time with your boys. You still tossing the football. They're right with you. They ain't at home. You've had them with you since the jump. So, as a father, as a man, I can salute somebody who not only invests in himself, that wants to do something that he has a dream of doing, but still takes time to show his sons, different things, and to spend that quality family time. And people don't know and understand the energy, effort that you put into this thing, and the money that you put into it in your own personal finances.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. First and foremost, I'm a single dad. I've got two boys. They're 12 and 13, and they're my entire world. Wherever I am, they're right there with me. And, I'm so glad that the Browns have turned the corner, because their entire lives, they've just known terrible football. And to get to enjoy quality football, quality Browns football with them is priceless to me. Then, secondly, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I've served my country. I'm a very proud individual. And some of the other misconceptions, I work 3 jobs. I'm a single dad. I'm always trying to be cutting edge with what I'm doing. And I try to keep things fresh and new and exciting. It's not just the same thing at, every tailgate, every event. We're planning for the draft. We're planning for training camp. We do things year round with the Browns, and my boys were always with me, and that's important to me. It's not a show. It's not like something that I'm just doing to, perceive it as a public image. Those boys are a part of me, and I love them more than anything. And that's just who I am. And, it's important to me that people can come to the tailgates with their families, with their kids, and not like 10 years we've been doing these tailgates. I can't remember one, altercation, one fist fight, nothing. I mean,
nothing. How rare is that? Nothing. I haven't
especially when
seen...
you've got alcohol and you've got opposing teams fans there. Have you ever seen anything go down at those parties? Never.
I think, and this is crazy, those tailgates are a hub for not only Browns fans, it is the place to be for opposing fans.
Oh yeah, you should see the messages I get. Like we're playing the Bears. All week, I start getting messages from Bears fan. Hey, I heard you throw a great tailgate. Are you open to opposing teams? I welcome that. I actually look forward to bringing people in. It's fun. That's what makes it
so fun. And as a person who is calling, putting you on the pregame show, we like to jab and have fun with the people, the opposing teams. I love seeing, and this is crazy. This is even when the Ravens, Steelers, when you talk about heated rivalries, they're in there with their jerseys. They're in there with their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. They're hanging out. There's never been an altercation. There's never been any high voices.
Nothing.
It's just been all a good time. Like you said, and that's what the best part about it is it's family friendly, and we just all there having a good time celebrating the sport of football. So it's
exactly.
definitely
It's not celebrating the Browns. It's celebrating football, NFL football. And that's what I feel makes it special.
Gus, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on with me.
You got it, brother.
There it is, man. Hey, you listen, by the way, for all you people out there, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna get his merch is on 1,000. You're not those guys out there that say they got the best authentic gear. No, you don't. No, you don't. I've seen his game plan. His Browns gear is the strongest. You know how there's sneakerheads, and then there's people who rock only authentic stuff. You're not beating him. No one has more authentic gear than Pumpkinhead, and you can come in second, but not first. Pumpkinhead, appreciate you, man.
Nothing but love, GBUSH. You stay in touch, and it's great talking to you.
Good talking to you, man.